The Weight of Silence. I'm Peter Whitmore. At 73, I've learned life's hardest lessons too late to use them myself. But maybe not too late to help you. A few weeks ago, I shared part of my story. The response moved me deeply. But I held something back, something that haunts my quiet mornings and sleepless nights. Today, I'm ready to tell you about the mistake that cost me everything. The illusion of forever. Susan and I were married for 41 years. 4 decades of shared meals, shared bills, shared routines. To everyone who knew us, we were solid, dependable, the kind of couple that simply endured. But here is the truth nobody warns you about. You can wake up beside someone for 15,000 mornings and still not truly see them. 6 years ago, Susan was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. From diagnosis to death took just 4 months. In a hospice room that smelled of antiseptic and ending things, she looked at me with tired eyes and said something I replay constantly. We spent our whole marriage being comfortable. We forgot to be close. I didn't understand. Not then. We built a good life, hadn't we? We never screamed at each other. We'd raised children, bought a house, celebrated anniversaries. But comfortable isn't connected. And I'd mistaken one for the other. The slow fade. Susan used to ask things. Small requests that seemed insignificant. Should we try that pottery studio downtown? Remember when we used to dance in the kitchen? Can we just talk? Really talk? I always had rational reasons to decline. Work was demanding. Money was tight. I was exhausted. We'd do it next month, next year, eventually. Eventually became never. She stopped asking. Not suddenly. People never leave all at once. They disappear gradually, like photographs fading in sunlight. She found her own friends, her own interests, her own inner world I wasn't invited into. We became polite strangers sharing an address. What the dying tell us, cancer has a way of clarifying things. Suddenly, someday has an expiration date. In those final weeks, Susan told me things I'd been too distracted to hear for decades. She described loneliness I'd never noticed. She mentioned dreams I'd dismissed as impractical. 3 weeks before she died, she talked about Scotland, her grandmother's homeland, a place she'd wanted to visit since childhood. She'd mentioned it over the years. I'd always found reasons why it wasn't feasible. I didn't want you to take me because you felt obligated, she said quietly. I wanted you to want to go with me. That distinction shattered me. She didn't want my duty. She wanted my enthusiasm. She wanted me to care about what mattered to her simply because she mattered to me. I couldn't even give her that. The journal after the funeral. I found a journal in her knitstand drawer. Pages and pages in her careful handwriting, spanning years. Reading it felt like meeting someone I'd lived with, but never known. She documented her loneliness. The evenings I'd chosen television over conversation. The times she'd tried to share something important while I scrolled through my phone. She also wrote about love, about hoping the man she married would somehow return. About reaching across our shared bed and finding only distance. I was there, right there, and she was utterly alone. The real killer. Here's what destroys relationships. Not affairs or arguments or dramatic betrayals. Indifference. The slow, steady erosion that happens when you stop trying. When you think showing up is sufficient. When you believe your partner will simply always be there, so there's no urgency to actually cherish them. Relationships don't explode, they fade. One postponed conversation at a time. One not tonight at a time. One we'll do it later at a time. Questions worth asking. If you share your life with someone, ask yourself, when did you last have a real conversation, not about schedules or chores, but about fears, dreams, ideas? When did you last do something purely to bring them joy? When did you last look at them and feel genuine gratitude? If you're struggling to remember, you're making my mistake. The unbearable math. Susan and I had 41 years. I genuinely wasted at least 20 of them being present, but not engaged. Being physically there, but emotionally absent. 20 years. 7,300 days. Thousands of opportunities to choose connection over comfort. All gone. Your partner won't be there forever. One of you will leave first, through death or departure. And when that happens, you don't get another chance. No opportunity to have those postponed conversations. No way to take those delayed trips. No chance to say those things you assumed they already knew. What I'd give people called me a good husband after Susan died. They were wrong. I was adequate. I met minimum requirements: fidelity, financial support, basic presence. But that's a devastatingly low standard. Being a true partner means actively building intimacy, choosing vulnerability, staying curious about someone even after decades, making effort when you're tired, prioritizing connection when everything else screams for your attention. I didn't do these things. Now I live with a question that visits me every morning. What would I give for one more ordinary Tuesday with Susan? For one more chance to say yes when she asked for my attention? Everything. I'd give everything. Scotland, I keep thinking about Scotland. A week of time, some money for flights and hotels. That's all it would have cost me. For Susan, it would have meant everything. All those pottery classes she suggested, the dancing lessons, the long evening talks, all the small ways she tried to maintain connection while I offered excuses. I thought we had time. We didn't. Nobody does. If you still have time, listen carefully. If you love someone, if you've built a life with someone, don't wait for perfect circumstances to show them they matter. Don't assume they know. Don't mistake their patience for indifference to your neglect. Ask about their dreams. Really listen to the answers. Do things that interest them, even if those things bore you, because strengthening your bond should never bore you. Be present in a way that requires effort. Stay curious about who they're becoming. Love isn't just a feeling. It's a choice you make in countless small moments every single day. My daily reminder on my desk sits a photograph from our honeymoon in 1972. Susan's laughing, hair windblown, eyes bright with hope and possibility. I look at it and see all the ways I failed that hopeful young woman. How I slowly, unintentionally taught her to stop hoping I'd meet her halfway. She was right. We wasted so much time being comfortable instead of close. Your turn. Don't waste your time the way I wasted mine. Love actively. Love intentionally. Love urgently. Do it now, while the person you love is still there to receive it. Because trust me, living with what you did and do is infinitely harder than any effort required to do it. I'm sharing this story because someone needs to hear it. If this resonated with you, I hope you'll share it with someone who might need the reminder that time is unguaranteed, but the choice to truly love is still yours to make.